Hello guys, welcome to one more video concerning to Still.js. In this one, we are going to discuss about forms. Those are the points we are going to cover. The form in tag itself, text input binding, combo box binding, option list binding, like checkboxes and radio buttons. And then we are going to see how we can generate fields or input fields dynamically to our form. So for that, I have this form that I created previously, which I will use to generate the project. Then I'll do st init, so it is generating the project got generated. Now I will do st serve to start the project is running. I will go to our Chrome browser and I will open it. Here we are. So and then what I will do is I will create a new component, and for that I'll do still C from create, CP from component, and I'll point to app component. I'll say forms, say person form. So for this component template, I will get rid of the template variable inside here, and I will follow the HTML approach, which is same name of the JS file, but the extension should be HTML. So now I'll just put some div in here. I'll put some content. I'll save, and I'll go to the browser, and now I'll go to our form or person form, and here we are. Uh, our component is now good to go. So when it comes to create the forms, by the way, this is one of the core features of the Still.js framework. So it is mandatory for us to use the form uh, uh, tag, which is what is going to wrap our component. And for the sake of this, one of the features we are going to discuss on this tutorial, we are going to use also the form ref, which we assign with any property variable that we have. In this case, I will say will be person form ref, and I will copy this guy in here, and I will create this variable in our component. uh, and because this is a property, I will like annotate it with prop, and I also need to specify the type, and this should be uh, st form. So now I have a small code snippet here for all the bindings we are going to do in our form. So we have like those four fields, which is concerning to our input fields. And this is because we are going to use some like combo boxes and radio buttons, and we are going to source the data from those lists. So let's move forward. First thing first, I will create an input for the name, um, and by the way, I will follow this bootstrap approach, which is grouping every form element in a form group. Then I have the label, and I will say name. And in here, I will have our input, and I will bind this input, and to bind it I need to use the value directive. So, and what I assign to that directive is the name of the um like variable itself that I need to bind to this input. And I'll also bind um our um state variable to um our template, like this. So the same variable I'm binding here, I'm binding on the template. So now I'll go to the form, to the browser, and I'll type something, and we can see that as we are typing, it reactively reflects to the template as well. So now what I will do next is I will duplicate this guy for speeding up the thing. So, and in here, we're going to have the gender. And for the gender, instead of having the regular input, we are going to have a radio button. By the way, the like those values for the gender will come from this list in here. Then I will copy it here, and then I will create a wrapper. And in this wrapper, we can then use our for each, and we can assign our data source. So now the input of type radio will be the item, and we have to say each item. And for the value, we are going to grab in the item, we have the ID. So we'll say ID. And for the label, we have these label after or label before directive. And we are going to go to the item, and we are going to grab the name. So let me go to the browser again. We can see M and F, which is from the list, and the labels are coming right after the radio buttons. We could say a label before, and it will be placed before. So one thing, if we are to bind our radio buttons or checkboxes, value doesn't serve for it when it comes to radio buttons and checkboxes. Only in this case, we have to use the field directive. And in here, we specify the name of the field we are going to use from the component, which is in this case, gender. So um, that done, I will also bind it to the template, and I will come here. I will say gender will be the gender state variable. I will go again. I will select, and we can see what we get in here. It's changing accordingly. So I will go back, and I will say checkbox, which is the same. The main difference between checkbox and radio buttons is that radio buttons are single choice, and checkboxes are multiple choice, as we can see here. So we are good to go. Now what I will do is, again, I will duplicate this guy, and now we are going to see how we are going to approach our combo box. For that, we will have the select, which will be our wrapper. When it comes to combo box, we have to use the select. And our uh, data source will be this state variable. And in here, we are going to bind also by using the value, which field is going to be bound to this like combo box. So, and in here, it should be option. And when it comes to option, we have to open and close. And the type we don't have the field, because in here the bind is done here and is done with the value. We have value in here, which is the regular HTML, and for that we are going to use the code from the item, and the name again for the label. But we don't have the label after or label before. We have like to put it straight in between the opening and closing um, option tag. And here we are. We can see the options. I will also bind it to our template. Let me duplicate that, and I will say scale, and I will say here will be the scale. uh Let me go again, and let me select, and we can see that this is also changing accordingly. So we can also make our combo box multiple, which is for multiple choice. Let's go again. The thing is, when it is multiple choice, all the options we are going to select are going to be presented and separated by comma. um so we have our combo box, we are good. So one thing we can also do, just the way we can do the combo box, we can also do the radio buttons, like by hard coding the values. Let me show an example. We'll say answer, and I will say I'll get rid of this. I don't need this, and I will have two radio buttons. And we don't have this. I mean, the radio button we don't have these in here. We don't have these in here. I mean, we definitely have to have the field if we are going to bind it, but it is fine. It's just for demo purposes. And the value, I will say y, and the label, I will say yes, and here value will be n, and the label here will be no. I will save it and go to the browser, and here we are. This is like checkbox or say radio, and by the way, the gender, we are going to keep it radio as well. So, and here we are. So last thing um uh for this tutorial is how we can generate inputs dynamically. So for that, I will create a method which I will say add a new field. And we have this, by the way, first of all, we need to have some kind of um, wrapper here, which I will give an ID as additional fields. And for these additional fields, by the way, I will just put it here for now. We have this form helper, and inside this one, we have the new field. We have two methods, delete field and new field, but we are going to create a new field. And we have to specify for which component we are going to create this new field. And then we have to specify, this is the only reason we are using the form ref here, which is, in this case, is this one. And last, we have to specify the name of the field, which is in this case will be first, I mean last name. So after that, we have the input. We are going to talk about the input itself, and then we have the add. So this add will add the field or the input inside this form we are passing in here. So on the input, we have different options we can specify, but for now, we can see here, we are going to use only the type, which will be text. So we should be good to go. Now I'll go to the browser. By the way, I need to create a button to call this method. And I'll come in here, and I'll say button, add field. I'll say click, we'll call that method. I'll save it, and I'll go to the browser, and I will press, and here we are. We have our field being added. But thing is, I we don't have any format here. I can just say, okay, I need a label also in addition to the input. So what I will do is I will come in here, and I will um do um this, like um copy the format of every input group. And in here on the add method, we have this optional callback, which receives the input itself, and then we are going to return whatever format we have or we want. um, in addition, I mean, with the input itself. So I'll have the label, which will be last name, and the input itself should be here as well. So I'll just say like this, input, which is what we are passing from here. I'll save it. I'll go to the browser again, and I'll press to add, and now we can see that our input is with the label. So we can also specify that we want our input to be placed inside us, because now this is being placed inside the form, but I want the input to be placed in here, inside here. So what I have to do is, because that's an ID, I will come in here, and after the callback function, I have to specify the subcontainer, which is like this. This is hash because it is ID, and then the name of the ID itself. And now I'll go back and I'll press add, and yeah, we can see any difference, but this is actually there is a difference there. So now how can we retrieve the value of our dynamic field? We know that because we are binding the other fields to the state variables, we can just grab them easily. I'll say just print another method, print val, which I'll say here alert, for example, for the name, say this name dot value. This is how we can retrieve the value from a state variable. I'll come in here. I didn't add the button for that. Let me copy, come in here, duplicate this guy, let me paste it here. I'll say print, save again. I'll go in here, I'll press, nothing is there, is empty because I don't have any name. Uh, I'll type something and here we are. So now how can we retrieve the dynamic field value? So it's quite easy. So we have, and I will do because we are alerting, I'll do JSON stringify, and we have this get dynamic field. We have two options or two methods. There is the dynamic field names, which is only the names, and dynamic fields, which is the field names along with the values. So I'll go back and I'll press print, and it's empty because I didn't even add. I will add it. I'll say my last name, and I'll press, and here we are. We are now able to retrieve the dynamic field value. So guys, this is it for this tutorial. In the next one, we are going to discuss about how we handle form validation. But for this one, that's it. Thank you a lot, guys. See you on the next one.